Hello everyone, Osiris Frost here with part 3 in the series on how to build your fleet in Star Citizen. This video builds off of the concepts I've laid out in the prior 2 videos, so if you haven't seen those, I've linked them up for you to check out. Now, part 3. When Star Citizen was in the very early days, some of these concept ships got announced before CIG had a handle on how big they would have to be in order to do what they were supposed to do, or even to fit people on board. And as a result, we've watched the steady growth of ships like the Orion over the time since its announcement. If you spend 10 seconds looking, you'll find that the Orion is still just $325. But based on its size and role, this is a ship which will jump in price dramatically when it's released. Other endgame industry ships have been priced at $400 since the most recent anniversary sale, when originally they were sold for $350. This is a case of those ships growing out of necessity, and their prices scaling accordingly to compensate for the extra time CIG employees had to put into making those fixes. All of that is well and good, but what if you don't care about owning an Orion? Fine, but what if you do want to own a Hammerhead? Now, the Hammerhead was only ever available on its own during the last year's anniversary sale. It was priced at that time at $550 war bond or $600 store credit. Using what we learned in part 2 of this video series, we can speculate that the Hammerhead will jump in price when it becomes flight ready with the release of patch 3.3. This will mean that the only time ever that you could buy or CCU to a Hammerhead prior to its flight ready sale and price hike was during its concept sale. Based on what I've just discussed, the Orion will likely jump from $325 to at least $400. If you own or are able to acquire an Orion or CCU some other base ship to an Orion before this price jump, then you can get a discounted Hammerhead. How does that work? What you're looking to do here is to buy low and sell high. If you can get into the Orion at the $325 price point and wait for the jump in price, let's say for the sake of argument to $400, then your Orion to Hammerhead CCU will only cost you the difference in price between those two ships. Essentially, you're getting $75 for free because you seized an opportunity to take advantage of early planning deficiencies at CIG. And this specific example might not be the best due to the weird situation with the Hammerhead that I just described. Maybe the price jump of the Orion would just end up canceling out the price hike of the Hammerhead. But if you're sure you want to own the Hammerhead and don't currently have one, then that's still a worthwhile way to go about getting one. And the principle here applies to any two ships with a price disparity, provided the lower price ship fits into the category of being a ship likely to go up in price as a result of growing during its gray box phase. So how do you identify these ships? Well, obviously there are no guarantees here, that's why it's called speculation. However, the larger multi-crew ships that were concepts from very early in the project, like the Endeavor for example, were sold with metrics that were all much too small. The key here is that you need to invest in that ship prior to the start of its development, and have the patience to wait for it to go up in price so that you can CCU it into the ship you really want at a discount. And to a degree, CIG has already preempted this with ships like the Carrack, which went up in price during last year's anniversary sale from $350 to $400 without becoming flight ready. I think that CIG just caught on to the fact that some backers were speculating with ships and decided to cut their legs out from underneath them, so to speak. A cynic might also consider that by adding a surprise price hike, they will get another opportunity to raise the price even further when the ship becomes flight ready. So, do with this information what you will. I'm certainly not suggesting that you become a gray market tycoon, although it's none of my business if you do. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that buying anything with store credit makes that item ungiftable. This is merely to give you a tool for thinking about getting the most value in your fleet for the money you choose to spend. And with that, this concludes my series on fleet building. I hope you've enjoyed it and maybe gotten something useful out of it. Until next time, I have been Osiris Frost. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's show. Thanks for watching. If you're new to Star Citizen, or you know someone who's thinking of playing, you or they can earn 5,000 UEC on your account by registering with my referral code, which you can find in the show notes down below. If you have any questions, feedback, or episode suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.